the Banks game on Wednesday, did you get what you wanted out of it?
I did in a certain respect. I got one or two of the players, and we'd obviously had some trialists in. So we had a look at them. So I got a bit out it. So I was reasonably happy with it. Just to give some minutes to some of the lads, you know what I mean. So Shauno, for instance, he played, he scored, he assisted. So that gives him a wee bit of minutes then for Sunday. You know what I mean. We'll get him in the frame then.
And the likes of him and Jordan Moore-Taylor and Reece Brown, are they all ready to start if selected?
Yeah, I think Jordan Moore-Taylor's got a wee bit of illness at the moment. He's been struggling. Reece Brown's been training and he's obviously in contention for to start the game. There will be some changes, of course, to the starting lineups the last game. So they're in contention, but Jordy's he's got a wee bit of illness, so he's a big doubt.
Unfortunate timing for him, because this was going to be his chance, and obviously I don't think you've seen him play in a competitive match yet, have you?
No, I haven't. Obviously because the injuries and things like that. So it's one of them. He's out of contract as well, the lad. So it's just unfortunate, but there you go. That's what happens, isn't it? It's just one of the things. Just move on.
In some ways, because of the Banks game and being able to get a few more people up to speed, is this kind of the most amount of players that you've had to select from realistically since you've been at the club and you've got to know the players properly?
I'm not sure on that one. I've got the right back. Dokes is ill, injured, so he's not trained for the last 4 or 5 days. Baka's not trained for the last week since he came off in the last game. So he's not trained all week. So he'll not be involved. Dokes will not be involved. So there's quite a few that are not involved, but they'll give an opportunity to somebody else, maybe just some of the young kids, you know what I mean, try and get them up for the academy and try and give them a run at it.
As well as the Banks game on Wednesday, Cambridge played as well, lost to Burton. I guess that puts an awful lot of pressure on them for this weekend.
Yeah, they've got to win, haven't they? So they'll be at it, they've got to win, so they've got to push for the game. It's going to be a tough game for us because, of course, we've obviously been dead and buried for a number of weeks now. So there can be motivational problems there with the players, but you've got to try and push them as a manager and do the best you can. We're there representing the club. We've got to have a professional, work ethic, and we've got to push as hard as we possibly can to try and get a result. Of course, we've got travelling fans there as well who have come home and away, but they'll go to the match as well. So they want a team that's fighting for them, and that's my job to try and get them motivated. It's not easy, but that's what we've got to try and do. Try and push Cambridge as hard as we can.
And you talk about that motivation. How much does that play a part? Because we see teams so often when they get safe or their fate is sealed one way or the other, there's kind of a reaction and a release, which obviously you don't want to happen. But does that just show sort of how motivated footballers are 99% of the games they go into?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a tough question. There's no easy answers, is there? At the end of the day, I mean, Wolves got beat 6 off of Brighton in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? So the teams, for some reason, once that edge is no there, in the back of their mind, they've got their contract issues, they've got loans, they've got, worrying about injuries or whatever it is. Every player goes through that. I find it difficult myself because I was always a player who gave 100% and got stuck right in. These players will do that, but sometimes if there's nothing on the game as such, it can be hard to push them and make them run as hard as you want them to run. There's no coincidence that with the last 2 games our distances are down than they were previous to that. So of course the performances have dropped a wee bit over the last 2 games and the distances are down as well. So it is hard to keep everybody on board and everybody pushing in the right direction. It is difficult, and that's across the board in every division. We've only got a professional pride to play for. We've got the fans to play for, but for some reason some players do find that difficult.
You mentioned the fans a couple of times. Obviously the club's laying on free coach travel for them as well. So you should get a good following to hopefully round the season off with a performance that they can be proud of as well.
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you, at the end of the day? But it's going to be tough for us, isn't it? Let's be fair. It's going to be a hard game. They've all been hard games for us. But, of course, the fans are the most important thing at any football club. They go home and away. They spend a lot of money. You know, they put themselves through a lot to come and support us, and they've been fantastic, to be honest with you. I mean, the Lappy appreciation last week, you know, and to go to the matches, considering the kind of run we've been on for the last maybe even the last 12 months, since last January really. So all credit to them. They've been great for me and great for the players. But now the players have really got to try and step up and try and dig down deep and try and get a result for them to try and go into the summer with a wee bit of positive, you know, behind the club a wee bit. And hopefully that's what they'll do. That's what we say. We say all the right things, don't we? But at the end of the day, they've got to go out and do it, and that's it. I'm not playing for them. They've got to play. They've got to find that will. And hopefully, you know, I'll push them as hard as I possibly can, but of course they've got to do it, haven't they?